Secunda Motor Rally is brought to you by Motorsport South Africa and its partners Toyota, Ford, Volkswagen, Dunlop and Sasol. The first ever Secunda Motor Rally took place on the 15th and 16th of May this year as round 3 in the South African National Rally Championship. But those are just the bare-bone facts. The reality is that this event turned out to be more spectacular and better attended than many expected. So much so that it's already being hailed as an example for organisers of other similar events. But be that as it may, the fact remains that the Secunda Motor Rally supplied the crews in the South African National Rally Championship with a stunning backdrop against which they could paint their various pictures of the event. And despite the stark and wintry landscape, the crews managed to fill the canvas with their technicolor tales of hope and despair. Tales with as many twists and unexpected turns as the well-prepared stages of the rally itself. But before we get tucked into those stories, here's a bit of background info. The Secunda Motor Rally was a collaborative effort between the South African National Rally Commission and a bunch of highly motivated and enthusiastic farmers and businessmen from Secunda. With a ceremonial start at the Graceland Casino, many of the stages prepared by transport and plant hire company Ricky B, and the finish at the stunning Lake Umuzi complex, the rally became more than just a motorsport event. It was a showpiece for the entire Secunda. From scrutineering, which took place at Secunda Toyota, all the way to the stages on Kwesi van der Merwe's property, the spectacular stages at Tabatage Bricks, and the show-stopping start at Jori's farm. The entire rally was run to perfection, with the Secunda Bulletin printing an excellent guide for the great spectating crowd. But that's a bit about the Secunda backdrop. And here are the players in Class S1600, South Africa's premier rally class for front-wheel drive machines with engines of 1600cc. This is a highly competitive class of racing with a plethora of fast crews competing for the spoils. Last year it was Guy Bottrell and Simon Vasey-Lyle who walked the championship in their locally built Yato Toyota Etios. But so far this year they found the going tough, managing only a third place on round 1. That event was won by Paul Franken and Henry Kern in their managed to supported Volkswagen Polo, who followed up with a second place on the Sasol Rally, round 2 of the season. Matthew Vasey-Lyle in the Fragram Toyota Etios has also had a solid season so far, with a second place in Durban and a third on the Sasol. So it was evident right from the start that Bottrell would have to fight back on the Secunda Motor Rally or say goodbye to the championship he found so easy to win last year.
The first 2 rounds we battled a bit. We've had technical issues. The pace has been there, but we just haven't had the results that we need. And hopefully we can get through this rally without any technical issues and score some valid points that we need for the championship.
But the young Durbanite was sure not to have it all his way. The current championship leader, Paul Franken, has shown that he's more than capable of winning rallies and posing for pictures on the podium. But would he be able to continue his great form from the first 2 rounds?
Secunda is a new event, so it's new grounds for everybody. So it's going to be a difficult event, I think, but we'll just try to do what we've been doing this season so far, and hopefully we can score some good points.
Matthew Vasey-Lyle is another quick driver with a good track record and was in second place in the season standings after 2 rounds. Former track racer Chad van Beerden in a Gem Sport supported Volkswagen Polo was in third after winning the Sasol Rally, leaving the defending champion languishing in 4th and Richard Leek in the ATS Ford Fiesta in 5th. All told, the Secunda Motor Rally was shaping up to be an exciting dice in Class S1600. After the ceremonial start at the Graceland Casino, all hell broke loose on the gravel stage with the same name. It may have been only 9 kilometers in length, but stage 1 offered a great wake-up call for the crews in Class S1600, and it was immediately clear that the anticipated close dice in the class was very much on the cards. The defending champions, Guy Bottrell and Simon Basie-Lyle, came out swinging, only to be met by an equally determined Chad van Beurden and Nico Swartz. The two were separated by just 0.1 of a second, with Bottrell claiming first blood. But Ashley Haig-Smith and Damien van As in the AHS Ford Fiesta was just 1 second slower, turning this into a three-way tussle early on. Not to be outdone, the rest of the S1600 crews all posted highly competitive times, with AC Potgieter and Tommy de Toy in the Ricky B Volkswagen Polo the best of the rest. They had Ricky Leek and Rikus Fourie in the ATS Lake Umuzi Ford Fiesta behind them, with Paul Franken in the Manitou Polo just 8 seconds off the early leaders. Marco Himmel, Matthew Basie-Lyle and Andrew Hain were the last of the crews, but still not far off the pace. So by the time the crews reached the first Dunlop service opportunity, it was neck and neck at the top of the standings, with a massive crews queuing up to capitalise on any mistakes by the leaders. At this point, things went more than just a bit pear-shaped in Class S1600. It all started when the crews lined up for Stage 2, known as Koersie, a 27-kilometre long tester, which was followed by Van der Merwe, literally across the road. The latter was just 7.37 kilometres in length, but the two were run without service in between and wreaked havoc with the S1600 field. First to falter was the young pretender to the crown, Paul Franken. His Manitou Volkswagen Polo cried more than enough when a conrod departed from the crankshaft, punching a neat hole in the side of the car's engine block. Franken and Kern had no option but to retire, taking at least some of the heat off the defending champions. Things got even easier for Bottrell a moment later, as Chad van Beurden's Gem Sport Volkswagen Polo started overheating. With temperatures soaring to 110 degrees, the driver had no alternative but to lift off the loud pedal, literally giving time away to Bottrell. At least Van Beurden, whose car had a temperature sensor problem, had a good excuse. For the young Namibian Marco Himmel, partnered by Francis Schoenby in another Volkswagen Polo, things ended not so much with a bang, but a splutter. The pair ran out of fuel in Stage 2, bowing out of the event with anything but flair. In the meantime, Ashley Haig-Smith in the AHS Fiesta, AC Potgieter in the Ricky B Polo, and Richard Leek in the ATS Lake Umuzi Fiesta all posted good stage times. But the man of the moment was undoubtedly Guy Bottrell, who steadily built a lead over the first 3 stages. The young Yachty driver was clearly back in the groove, and with his nearest challenger faltering, a good finish was on the cards. With all that said, Bottrell's lead after 3 stages was still only 12 seconds, proof of that close dice we mentioned earlier. Haig-Smith was now in 3rd, with Potgieter in 4th, and Leek taking the last spot in the top 5, but still only 31 seconds behind Bottrell. After the morning stages, it was time for the crews to lick their wounds in the Dunlop Service Park at Lake Umuzi.